Hello and welcome to Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. Today we are going to do a bonsai makeover on this forest. This is my Gollum jade forest, and the goal is just clean it up. This is a relatively new forest. We'll take a spin here. You can see it's very robust and healthy. These were all straight up cuttings that I took, no roots, last winter, and I put them in this pot and wired them in here with rocks and soil, and you can see they have really taken off. They have lots of roots now and are quite robust. And I know I don't want to prune it today, but I want to clean this up. One of the things that I've never been happy with is the way pumice and perlite looks. It's just this sort of eye-poking white, and I've done a few things to try to deal with that. You can see this one tree is a little bit, maybe I want to move it to the right a little bit. I was thinking part of what we do today is take the wire off and get the lava out of there. But let's take a quick look at this, and we can have a spin of the tree, and you can really see what I mean about this pumice, how it really, it doesn't look bad, but it's very distracting from the tree and the trunk and other things, as are the rocks and the wire. And so I want to really clean this up. Let's take a look at it from the top. You can see it has a nice profile, but again, there's a lot of distraction in there. It's quite healthy. I've got red tips here. And it's just one of my more favorite plantings for sure. So we'll start by getting the rocks out of here, and then I think we'll take the wire off, and then I want to try a little something different. I got my wire cutters here, which are great. I think I've talked about those in videos before, but you definitely want these for taking wire off. They're fabulous. But yeah, we'll take the rocks out. I want to take the wire off. And then I want to try a different sort of top dressing. I've used, just this, kind of the mix as it kind of comes out of the hopper, with the white stuff in it, which I really don't care for. I've tried covering it up with another sort of bonsai soil I buy specifically for that. I've tried red lava. And today I want to try something different here. I want to try, I have some black lava, which I acquired. And I'll show you that here in a minute when we get to it. But I think, I've never tried that before, and I want to see how that looks. I want to see if I want to adjust this tree. But you know what? I think as I'm looking at it more closely now, I'm not sure I even want to move that tree. I think it's probably the way I had it on the bench, like the sort of foliage has grown in a way that makes it look like it's less straight, but I could move it a little bit off to the right there. But I really would like to take the wire off, and yeah, I think that tree is going to be fine in that orientation right there. So I think we'll take the wire off, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I can always fix it later. It's straight enough. So let's start snipping off the wire. A lot of people kind of unwind the wire. I don't know. I don't like doing that. I sort of feel like it's sort of a disposable item. I don't use a whole lot of it. I don't really wire my trees. So this is my wire sacrifice, and I'll just cut it all off. And I try to get it, take it off in segments, especially wire like this. It's a little bit heavier. And small trees like this, you can really damage them or kind of really dislodge them in a way you don't want. So you kind of want to take them off in small bits and take your time and just snip all the wire off. I actually find it very satisfying to have that nice click and the little piece flies off, and then you oftentimes have to pick it up with tweezers, but it's just very satisfying to take the wire off and have the tree remain firmly in place. And the wire did its job, and it is now time to retire it. Yeah, so as I finish this wire off. You can see we've got some holes that we've created when I took the rocks out, and we'll try to smooth that out and fill that in with the lava. I'm kind of excited to try this black because I think it'll give a contrast. You know, the pot's white, and then you'll have sort of this rich looking, it'll look, I think, like rich dark black soil, and that'll contrast nicely with, it's sort of this gray brown bark and then the green leaves. So you've got like this white, black, green, bronze color almost, and I'm very excited to see how it turns out. And take this wire off the last tree. And you know what? If it doesn't turn out, it's easy enough to scrape it off. Just throw it in some other soil. You can always use lava, and you know, try something else. All right, so we've got the wire cleaned up, and let me get some of the soil, and we'll take a look at that. I can't remember offhand where I got this soil, but this black lava. I'm sorry, but I will. I'll find that, and I will put a link in the video description because let me just get some here. Look at this. It's really a nice, fine black lava, right? It doesn't have any, like, you know, a lot of it has debris and dust, and like, I mean, this is just perfect for doing for trees, you know, because it's a very small lava aggregate size. And so I'm just gonna look around here. I just really like this forest, and I think I'll change the angle. Oh, here, no, I wanted to show you this. Look at these red tips. It's just beautiful, and that was a color I forgot to mention in our color palette. I think that with the black and the white and the green, it's just gonna look fabulous. Like, this tree is really kind of busting out with a bit of health now, and you know, like this tree, this was that was a total stump this winter, and it's really just turned out quite nicely. And yeah, I'm really just happy with this little forest. So I'll just change the angle here so you can see me apply this lava, and we will get to work. Let me just locate my spoon here. There we go. And yeah, I think I'll try to, you know, remove some of the big white pumice in here, and I'll save. I mean, this stuff is awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. I love pumice. I haven't used perlite that much, but I really like pumice because, man, it just does a great job of holding water for you, and it's just fabulous. So I'm going to start scooping it in, and, you know, no particular technique, just kind of dump it in. I'll probably end up kind of mounding it closer or thicker in the middle, and then kind of down as we get to the side, so it looks, you know, kind of like they're on a slight bit of a hill. But I'm liking this already. I mean, it really just kind of takes the confusion of that multicolored, eye-poking white pumice kind of out of the equation. Yeah, so, you know, and obviously when I get this in there and water it, you know, it'll sort of settle in, and I'm just going to dump some in. It's interesting. It's black, but it has little flecks of just a teeny bit of red here and there, which I actually like. I think it kind of breaks up the void monotony of the black and kind of makes it look a little more natural, actually. So I'm kind of happy for that. And it's certainly giving me the contrast that I was thinking it would give, you know, where you can really see the trees, you know, because you don't have the distractions of the soil and all its little differentials all through it. I think I'm going to have to, I definitely see some white pumice really poking out from under it here. So I will just continue putting this in, but we're probably going to have to go in and pluck some of that out that's kind of peeking through. And I would imagine it'll take a little while to get all those, especially as you water and it kind of settles in and things move around. But, you know, that's pretty easy to do, and it's kind of fun have a cup of coffee and just kind of pluck out some stuff here and there. But yeah, I think I am kind of pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I mentioned it took me a while to find this black lava, and actually, I wasn't thinking of a top dressing when I sort of got it. I was thinking I'm going to try to recreate one of my favorite soils and use this with akadama and some organic material, probably fir, ground up small bits of fir or pine. And, see how that does is just a straight up soil. So that's really why I got this black lava and why I wanted kind of a smaller particle size, because, I have mostly small trees, and I just think it looks better if it's finer and it holds more water. And, the roots like to kind of get in there and weave around. And, I've just had better luck with smaller particle size. So I will be looking forward to that, but I'm also super happy that it just looks great as is here. And I'll also be interested to see what it looks like when it's wet. I mean, it's already pretty dark, but I think it'll really, any soil just takes on a richness and just looks a lot better when you get it wet. So I'm just plucking out some of this pumice that's just kind of eye poking me right now, because you can really see it poking through the black lava, but it's pretty easy to just pop it out. So as I'm doing that, it'll take a while. I'm just kind of going around and pulling them out as I see it. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was asking me about bonsai, and his assumption was it's an extremely expensive hobby, and I was like, well, it certainly can be. I said, but what you usually spend the money on as you get more and more into this are pots, right? Because you want to sort of buy that patina and that style, and and I said, but you can do it very cheaply. I said, the plants, you can use stuff you find in your yard, and you can drill holes in ceramics you have lying around the house, and your soil is basically, you can use like any kind of aggregate and leaves and wood chips, basically, so you can do it very, very cheaply. And I was kind of surprised, and I guess it's probably a common, because they are expensive, right? And if you think about how much time it takes somebody to develop a convincing tree, and the fact that they have to constantly care for it and feed it and repot it and prune it and maybe wire it and water it, and keep it alive and thriving every single day for many years. Even if you pay a couple $100 for a tree, or maybe even a couple thousand, and I'm just pushing these in now as though I just repotted it, just to kind of get some of this soil a bit compacted in there and loosen up any of that white stuff that's poking through. They're actually a pretty good deal, like when you think of how much time went into it. Now, it's like anything. Things are worth to you what they're worth to you, right? So if that's not your value system, then obviously they're not going to be worth it to you. But just for recreational bonsai, it can be done very, very inexpensively, particularly with jades, where you have almost an infinite capacity to very easily reproduce them. So I'm just going to mound up in the center here. I think we're getting into the home stretch with this block lava experiment, which, I don't want to, I really like this. I mean, I'll have to go back and rewind and look at the before and after, but I am really liking how clean this looks. And you can really see the trees, and especially with this black backdrop, it really sort of pops. So I'm just kind of filling in any last spots that I see here and there, and kind of smoothing it out a bit. And let me turn around and see if we've missed any spots. But I'm really impressed with how, and surprised actually, that you get a much clearer view of the trees and the foliage, because the other stuff just kind of disappears. It's almost like, it provides a backdrop for all that. So I'm just filling these in near the tree, and I think we are just about done with this. So a few more tweaks here, and then I will give this guy a watering and bring it back, and we will see it in all of its wonderful wet glory. But it looks pretty good dry even, but let me water it, and I will be right back. So here we go, freshly watered, and just look at that. I really think it's a dramatic improvement, and I am super happy with this bonsai makeover. And one thing I want to mention, which I always forget to mention as we take a final look at this, is all my trees, go to my channel and look at the playlist section, and every tree has its own list. So this tree, I think now this will be its second video, maybe its third, and you can go back and check out the history and the progress and how I got this tree to this point. And with that, I think it's a wrap, and I want to thank you so much for spending time with me and watching. And as a parting thought, consider doing a sort of a mini makeover to your own trees. Like, we didn't do any pruning here. We didn't do any repotting. We just kind of worked with the landscape a bit. And you can dramatically enhance and change your trees just by doing that. So thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon.